Welcome back, Lincoln currency. In the world of coin collecting, there are moments when something as ordinary as a small copper-colored coin that most people overlook in their pocket change can suddenly become a treasure worth a fortune. One of the most fascinating examples of this phenomenon revolves around the humble 1980 60 Lincoln cent, a coin that at first glance seems so common and insignificant that many people wouldn't think twice about tossing it into a jar or dropping it in a tip cup. Yet for collectors and numismatists who know what to look for, this unassuming penny can become an object of desire, a piece of American history, and in some extremely rare cases, a ticket to a life-changing payday worth tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, or even millions of dollars. This is the incredible story of the 1980 60 penny, its history, its design, its symbolism, its minting details, and how one small variation can turn a 1-cent coin into a collectible worth as much as $98 million. To understand why the 1980 60 penny holds such fascination, we first need to go back to the roots of the Lincoln cent itself. The 1-cent coin has been a part of the American monetary system since 1793, when the very first large cents were struck. But the specific design that we're dealing with, the Lincoln cent, began its life in 1909. That was the centennial year of President Abraham Lincoln's birth, and the U.S. Mint decided to honor one of the most beloved presidents in American history by placing his portrait on the 1-cent coin. This was the first time a real person, let alone a president, appeared on a regular issue U.S. coin intended for circulation. The design was created by Victor David Brenner, a Lithuanian-American sculptor whose initials, VDB, originally appeared prominently on the reverse of the coin. The obverse featured a bust of Lincoln based on a photograph taken by Matthew Brady, capturing the president in a dignified and reflective pose. This design became iconic, and it remains largely unchanged more than a century later. Fast forward to 1986. By this point, the Lincoln cent had gone through a significant change in composition. Up until 1982, cents were made primarily of copper, about 95% copper and 5% zinc. However, due to rising copper prices, the U.S. Mint switched the composition in the middle of 1982 to a much cheaper copper-plated zinc planchet, 97.5% zinc with a thin 2.5% copper coating. This change reduced the weight of the coin from 3.11 grams to 2.5 grams, a detail that plays an important role for collectors. So any genuine 1986 Lincoln cent should weigh approximately 2.5 grams. If it weighs significantly more or less, it could be a sign of a mint error, and mint errors are often where the big money lies. The D mint mark on a 1986 cent indicates that it was struck at the Denver Mint. The United States Mint operates several facilities, but the two most common for circulating coinage are Philadelphia and Denver. Denver minted coins are usually marked with a small D just below the year on the obverse of the coin, beneath Lincoln's shoulder. In 1986, the Denver Mint struck hundreds of millions of Lincoln cents, an enormous number that means the vast majority of them are extremely common and worth face value. But as with many things in numismatics, rarity is not always about the quantity produced, it's about the small percentage of coins that differ from the norm. As we continue to explore the 1980-60 Lincoln cent, it's essential to understand the intricate world of coin grading and why professional certification can dramatically increase a coin's market value. Coins are not merely evaluated on their face design. They are scrutinized for condition, luster, strike quality, and the presence of any imperfections. This is where professional grading services like PCGS, Professional Coin Grading Service, and NGC, Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, come into play. A coin submitted for grading is examined under powerful magnification and compared against exacting standards to assign it a numerical grade from 1 to 70, with 70 representing a coin that is absolutely flawless. Even the tiniest hairline scratch or subtle discoloration can lower the grade by several points, affecting market value exponentially. For the 1980-60 cent, most coins in circulation fall into the lower grades, often between 1 and 50, but uncirculated examples can range from MS-60 up to the almost mythical MS-70. What makes the grading process particularly critical for a coin like the 1980-60 is that while the base issue is extremely common, certain high-grade coins are exceptionally rare. Even in a year with hundreds of millions of coins minted, it is astonishingly uncommon to find a specimen that has never experienced the slightest contact with other coins, the environment, or handling during transit. When one does surface, perfectly preserved, sharp, and lustrous, collectors often refer to it as a gem or pristine specimen, and it becomes highly desirable. This is why some 1980-60 cents, though common in quantity, have the potential to reach astonishing price levels when such perfection is confirmed. Another factor that enhances a coin's value is provenance. Provenance refers to a coin's documented history of ownership, particularly if it has passed through famous collections or been involved in historically significant events. Coins that can be traced back to renowned collectors, or that have been included in prestigious coin exhibitions, often carry a premium far above what an identical coin without provenance would fetch. For instance, if a 1980-60 Lincoln cent were discovered to be part of an error batch from a notable minting incident, or if it had been part of a famous hoard, auction houses could advertise it as a once-in-a-lifetime collectible, driving bids into 6 or even 7-figure territory. Auction history for rare Lincoln cents reveals some incredible stories. While no verified sale of a standard 1980-60 cent has reached $98 million, coins with extreme mint errors or unique historical significance have commanded eye-popping prices. Some double-die pennies, off-center strikes, and transitional planchet coins have sold for tens of thousands to hundreds of thousands of dollars at major numismatic auctions. In these cases, the rarity of the coin is so extreme that even seasoned collectors compete fiercely, driving the final sale price far beyond what would be considered normal. Auction catalogs often emphasize the story behind the coin, including the minting error, its discovery, and any historical context, because these narratives significantly impact how collectors perceive value. A coin is not just a piece of metal, it is a piece of history, an artifact imbued with cultural significance, and a tangible link to a specific moment in time. Now, let's examine some of the most notable errors and varieties of the 1980-60 penny. One famous example involves a doubled die obverse. On these coins, the digits in the date, or the letters in the word Liberty, can appear doubled, often dramatically so, due to a misalignment during the die creation process. In certain cases, the doubling is so pronounced that it appears three-dimensional under magnification, making the coin extremely attractive to collectors. Another rare error is the off-center strike, where the design is not properly aligned with the planchet. The more off-center the strike, the fewer coins exist in that configuration, and the higher the potential value. Coins that are struck on the wrong metal, for example, a copper-plated zinc penny accidentally struck on a leftover pre-1982 pure copper planchet, are among the rarest and most coveted. In these instances, the coin's weight alone is a giveaway. A standard 1980-60 penny should weigh approximately 2.5 grams, but a pre-1982 planchet would weigh around 3.11 grams. Collectors often use precise scales to identify these anomalies, because even a subtle deviation from the expected weight can indicate a significant error. It's not just errors that drive value. High-grade uncirculated coins can also fetch impressive sums. In professional grading terms, MS65 represents a choice uncirculated coin with strong luster and minimal marks, while MS67 and above are considered virtually flawless. Coins that achieve MS69 or MS70 status are exceedingly rare, and when authenticated, they can command prices far above standard market value. It's worth noting that only a tiny fraction of coins ever reach these top grades, even when minted in the millions, which is why collectors and investors often seek out these exceptional examples. In some cases, a single coin in MS70 condition can sell for more than thousands of ordinary circulated coins combined, demonstrating the extreme premium that perfection commands in numismatics. The market dynamics for the 1986 cent are influenced not just by condition and errors, but also by collector sentiment and trends. The U.S. coin collecting community is vibrant and highly engaged, with collectors ranging from casual hobbyists to serious investors willing to spend significant amounts to complete their sets or acquire rare specimens. Online marketplaces, auction houses, and specialized coin shows facilitate the buying and selling of coins, and rare items often spark bidding wars. Media attention and viral social media posts about unusual or valuable coins can create sudden spikes in demand, temporarily inflating prices. For example, when a collector discovers a 1986 cent on an off-metal planchet, news outlets and coin forums might spread the story, resulting in offers well above normal market expectations. Authentication is a critical step for any coin claiming extraordinary value. Because the stakes are high, collectors and buyers rely on certified grading services not only to assign a grade but also to verify authenticity. Counterfeiting, while rare, does occur, especially for coins with claims of extreme rarity or historical significance. Certified coins are encapsulated in tamper-evident holders that display the coin's grade, unique serial number, and verification from the grading company. This authentication process reassures buyers that the coin is genuine, which is especially important when discussing figures as high as millions of dollars. A 1986 cent with a properly documented grading certificate can command far more than an uncertified coin, even if visually identical. The fascinating interplay of history, rarity, design, and collector demand is what makes the 1986 Lincoln cent such an enduring subject of interest. Unlike many other coins that might fade into obscurity, Lincoln cents continue to capture attention due to their rich historical narrative and the simple fact that they circulate widely. The story of Abraham Lincoln, from his birth in a log cabin to his leadership through the Civil War and the Emancipation Proclamation, imbues the coin with a sense of gravitas and cultural importance. Every glance at a penny is, in a sense, a reminder of the values and ideals that shaped the United States. In addition, as we delve deeper into the world of the 1986 Lincoln cent, one of the most fascinating aspects is the intersection between collector enthusiasm, market forces, and historical significance. While the vast majority of these coins are worth no more than face value or a modest premium in uncirculated condition, a tiny fraction of specimens can fetch truly astonishing sums. Understanding this requires not only knowledge of coin grading and errors but also an awareness of market trends and the behavior of serious collectors and investors. Auction history provides some of the clearest illustrations of the extremes in coin values. Over the past several decades, Lincoln cents with exceptional features have appeared at top-tier numismatic auctions, sometimes commanding prices that seem impossible for a 1-cent piece. For example, double-die cents from other years have sold for hundreds of thousands of dollars, and transitional planchet errors can reach 7 figures. While no fully authenticated 1986 penny has officially sold for $98 million, the figure often cited in news or marketing materials typically refers to theoretical valuations of unique error coins or promotional exaggerations meant to highlight their potential worth. Collectors are drawn to these stories because they capture the imagination. The idea that something as mundane as a penny could be worth millions under the right circumstances. To understand what drives these values, it's important to examine the types of errors and rare varieties that can make a 1986 cent extraordinary. Among the most notable are double-die obverse coins, off-center strikes, broad strikes, and coins struck on incorrect planchets. A double die obverse occurs when the hub used to create the working die misaligns during manufacture, causing inscriptions or numerals to appear doubled. These coins are highly prized because the doubling is visually striking and relatively rare. Off-center strikes, in which the coin's design is misaligned with the planchet, are also rare, and the more dramatic the off-center strike, the higher the potential market value. Broad strikes, where the coin spreads slightly beyond its normal diameter due to improper pressure during striking, and coins struck on long planchets are rarer still and often attract the attention of serious investors looking for unique items. Another factor influencing value is provenance. Coins that come from historically significant hoards or collections tend to carry a premium. For instance, if a coin can be traced back to a mint-related anomaly or a notable collector's set, auction houses often highlight this history in their catalog listings. This narrative adds an emotional and historical dimension to the coin, which can dramatically increase bidding competition. High-profile auctions in cities such as New York, Chicago, or Hong Kong often feature rare-era coins as the centerpiece lots, attracting collectors and investors willing to spend extraordinary sums to acquire these one-of-a-kind items. Investors looking at coins like the 1980 60-cent need to balance rarity, condition, and potential market demand. Even with a rare error, a coin in poor condition might not realize its full potential, while a pristine coin with a minor error may fetch a premium due to its combined perfection and uniqueness. Professional grading is crucial in this context. Coins submitted to services like PCGS or NGC receive both a numerical grade and authentication certification, providing buyers with confidence that the coin is genuine and accurately described. This certification can make the difference of tens or even hundreds of thousands of dollars in the final auction price. Preservation of coins is another critical consideration. The 1980 60-cent, like all modern Lincoln cents, is composed primarily of zinc with a thin copper coating. This makes it more susceptible to environmental damage than older, solid copper coins. Exposure to moisture, oils from handling, or extreme temperatures can cause discoloration, corrosion, or surface scratches, all of which can drastically reduce a coin's grade and, by extension, its market value. Serious collectors and investors store their coins in protective holders, often using airtight containers or tamper-evident capsules to prevent contact with the environment. Coins of potentially extraordinary value may even be stored in bank vaults or secure safety deposit boxes to ensure preservation over decades or even centuries. Spotting a potentially valuable 1980 60 penny requires knowledge, patience, and keen observation. The first step is to examine the coin's weight. A genuine 1980 60 penny should weigh approximately 2.5 grams. Any deviation from this can indicate a significant anomaly, such as a pre-1982 copper planchet or a foreign metal strike. Next, collectors inspect the coin under magnification for doubling, off-center strikes, or other mint errors. Light and magnifying tools help reveal subtle doubling or die anomalies that might not be visible to the naked eye. Color and luster are also examined carefully. Uncirculated coins often have a bright reddish tone due to the copper plating, whereas circulated coins will show varying degrees of wear and toning. Even the smallest scratch or blemish can impact grading, so careful handling is essential during inspection. Collector stories surrounding rare 1980 60 pennies add a human element to the technical details. Many coins have been discovered in jars, old wallets, or even among loose change collected over decades. A coin that might have been overlooked for years suddenly becomes a treasure when someone notices an unusual doubling or incorrect weight. These discoveries often make headlines because they demonstrate that incredible finds can happen in everyday life. The notion that a small penny in your pocket could be worth millions captures the imagination and adds a layer of excitement to coin collecting that is unmatched in most other hobbies. The symbolism of the Lincoln cent also enhances its desirability. Abraham Lincoln, who navigated the United States through the Civil War and abolished slavery, represents leadership, integrity, and national unity. The inscriptions on the coin, "In God We Trust, Liberty," and "E Pluribus Unum," reinforce foundational American principles. Collectors often value not just the coin itself, but the history, ideals, and artistry it represents. In this way, The 1980 60 penny is more than just a monetary unit, it is a miniature historical document, an object of design and symbolism, and a tangible link to the era in which it was produced. Market dynamics for rare coins like the 1980 60 cent are shaped by both supply and demand. While billions of these pennies were minted, the combination of errors, high-grade examples, and provenance creates a minuscule supply of coins that truly excite collectors. High demand and limited availability naturally drive prices upward. Auctions, private sales, and collector exchanges are venues where these dynamics play out, often resulting in prices far above face value. Even in online marketplaces, well-preserved or rare era coins can command impressive premiums, illustrating the enduring appeal and market potential of this small, seemingly insignificant coin. Finally, it is worth considering the emotional and psychological aspects of collecting coins. The thrill of discovery, the joy of holding a perfect or rare coin, and the pride in completing a set all contribute to the value placed on coins like the 1980 60 penny. Investors may also be motivated by the potential for financial gain, particularly if they identify a coin with a unique error or top tier. Imagine, for a moment, holding in your hand a coin that seems ordinary, yet has the potential to become one of the most valuable pennies in the world. This is the fantasy scenario that collectors often imagine when discussing the 1980 60 Lincoln cent. The notion that a penny, a coin that has a face value of 1 cent, could reach valuations as high as $98 million is almost surreal. While such figures are largely speculative and often involve rare mint errors, unique planchets, or coins with extraordinary provenance, the possibility fuels the fascination surrounding these small yet historically rich coins. In hypothetical scenarios, a 1980 60 penny could achieve such astronomical value under a combination of circumstances: perfect uncirculated condition graded MS-70, a rare minting error such as a doubled die or off-metal planchet, a historically significant provenance linking it to a famous collector or minting incident, and global market attention where multiple high-net-worth collectors compete to acquire the coin. In these cases, the coin transcends its role as currency and becomes a one-of-a-kind artifact, combining historical, artistic, and investment appeal. Preservation is absolutely critical in scenarios involving high-value coins. Collectors who hope to maximize the value of a 1980 60 Lincoln cent must ensure that it remains free from environmental hazards. Copper-plated zinc coins are prone to oxidation, discoloration, and surface degradation if exposed to humidity, oils, or even high levels of air pollution. Handling must be done with extreme care, using gloves or tools designed for numismatic work. Protective holders, capsules, or archival quality storage boxes are essential, and coins of extraordinary value may be kept in climate-controlled vaults or bank safety deposit boxes. Even slight contact with other coins can create microscopic scratches or bag marks that may significantly reduce the coin's grade. For a coin that could hypothetically be worth millions, meticulous care is non-negotiable. Equally important is the process of authenticating and verifying rare coins. Because of the extreme monetary stakes, coins suspected of having unique errors or extraordinarily high grade are submitted to professional grading services. The authentication process involves high magnification examination, chemical analysis of metal composition, and verification of die characteristics to ensure that the coin is genuine. Once graded, the coin is encapsulated in a tamper-evident holder that displays the coin's grade, certification number, and other relevant details. This authentication protects both the buyer and seller and ensures that market confidence in the coin remains high. Coins claiming extraordinary value without proper certification are rarely accepted in serious numismatic circles, and collectors are often highly skeptical of any claims without PCGS or NGC verification. Spotting potentially valuable 1980 60 cents in circulation or in collections requires skill, patience, and attention to detail. First, the weight should be verified. A standard 1980 60 cent should weigh approximately 2.5 grams. Significant deviation may indicate an off-metal planchet, a rare copper-plated zinc error, or even a foreign coin strike. Next, the coin should be examined under magnification for doubled dies, off-center strikes, or unusual die marks. Luster, color, and surface quality are carefully assessed, as these factors contribute heavily to grading. Even minor scratches, discoloration, or abrasions can reduce value dramatically. Collectors also look for unusual tonal characteristics, such as original mint red coloration, which can enhance the appeal of the coin. Coins exhibiting multiple desirable characteristics, high grade, mint errors, original luster, are extremely rare and may justify premium valuations. Global trends in coin collecting have further influenced the market for rare pennies. In the last few decades, interest in numismatics has expanded well beyond the United States. Collectors in Europe, Asia, and the Middle East increasingly participate in auctions and private sales, driving competition and occasionally creating dramatic spikes in coin values. This globalization of the market increases the pool of potential buyers for rare coins, meaning that particularly unique specimens can attract bids from collectors around the world. As demand grows and supply remains extremely limited, prices for exceptional coins naturally rise. The 1980-60 Lincoln cent, particularly with rare errors or perfect grading, benefits from this trend. Investment strategies for coins like the 1980-60 cent involve both careful acquisition and long-term preservation. Serious collectors and investors often pursue coins with verified errors or top grades because these are far more likely to appreciate over time. They diversify their coin holdings, combining error coins, high-grade specimens, and historically significant pieces to build portfolios that balance potential for short-term profit with long-term preservation of value. Auctions, dealer networks, and certified marketplace platforms provide venues for acquisition and sale. Because the coin market is relatively illiquid compared to stocks or bonds, investors often hold coins for decades, allowing rarity and provenance to compound in value. Coins with exceptional attributes, such as a hypothetical MS-70 1980-60 double die on a rare planchet, represent the apex of this investment strategy, combining scarcity, condition, and historical appeal into a single collectible asset. Historical context adds another layer to the value of the Lincoln cent. Abraham Lincoln's enduring legacy elevates even mundane specimens, imbuing them with cultural significance. The 1980-60 penny may not commemorate a particular event in Lincoln's life, but it is part of a lineage of coins that reflect more than a century of American history. From the original 1909 cent to modern variations, the coin has been a constant presence in American life, circulating in pockets, purses, and cash registers, witnessing social, political, and economic change. Collectors often value this historical continuity, understanding that each coin is both a product of its minting era and a participant in the broader narrative of the United States. The 1980-60 Lincoln cent also provides a remarkable example of the interplay between chance and diligence in coin collecting. Many high-value coins are discovered by individuals who did not know they were holding something extraordinary. Loose coins in jars, forgotten collections, and family heirlooms occasionally contain rare mint errors. On the other hand, serious collectors use magnification, weight scales, and reference materials to systematically examine coins, identify subtle anomalies, and verify their potential worth. This combination of serendipity and methodical research illustrates why numismatics continues to capture the imagination of enthusiasts around the world. In extreme scenarios, the idea of a 1980-60 penny selling for tens of millions is not merely about monetary speculation. To truly appreciate the significance of the 1980-60 Lincoln cent, it helps to examine specific case studies and anecdotes that illustrate why collectors pay extraordinary attention to what many would consider an ordinary penny. Across the decades, coins have surfaced in unexpected places, in old wallets, behind baseboards, in jars of loose change, revealing rare errors that can transform a common coin into a collector's prize. One such instance involved a hoard of 1980-60 pennies discovered in the 1990s in the storage vault of a retired coin dealer. The coins had been untouched since they were originally acquired directly from the Denver Mint, and among thousands of ordinary cents, a handful exhibited subtle doubling on the date and the word Liberty. Professional grading confirmed these anomalies, and the coins were subsequently auctioned to eager collectors, fetching prices hundreds of times higher than their face value. The story of this hoard highlights a critical lesson for collectors. Careful observation and knowledge of minting details can reveal hidden value in coins that might otherwise seem mundane. Many of these era coins were initially indistinguishable to the untrained eye. It was only through magnification, weight verification, and comparison with reference materials that their true rarity became apparent. For collectors and investors alike, this illustrates the importance of meticulous examination and understanding the technical aspects of coin production. Mint errors in the 1980 60 penny are particularly fascinating because they illuminate the precision and occasional imperfections inherent in coin production. The minting process at Denver involved high-speed presses striking millions of planchets with remarkable uniformity, yet even minor deviations during this process could produce coins with extraordinary value. Double die errors, off-center strikes, and broad strikes are all examples of how minor shifts in alignment, pressure, or planchet placement can generate rare varieties. A double die error occurs when a working die is impressed twice in slightly different positions, producing a doubled image of numerals or letters. These errors are visually striking and relatively scarce, which makes them highly desirable among collectors. Off-center strikes provide another captivating example. When a planchet is misaligned in the press, the resulting coin exhibits a design that is partially or completely shifted from its normal center. The degree of off-centering directly influences the coin's rarity and value. A coin that is slightly off-center may be interesting, but a coin with a dramatic misalignment can command extraordinary attention. Broad strike errors, where the coin's metal spreads beyond the intended boundaries due to insufficient collar restriction, are another variation that appeals to collectors, especially when combined with high-grade condition. The 1980 60 penny also provides insight into transitional planchet errors. As noted, the composition changed in 1982 from mostly copper to mostly zinc with a copper plating. This transition created a potential for coins to be struck on incorrect planchets, such as leftover copper blanks from the earlier composition. A 1980 60 penny struck on a pre-1982 copper planchet would weigh approximately 3.11 grams instead of the standard 2.5 grams, instantly making it a rare anomaly. These coins are highly sought after because they are unintended byproducts of the minting process and are extremely scarce. Historical anecdotes further enrich the narrative of the 1980 60 penny. Many collectors recount stories of discovering valuable coins in everyday life: a teenager checking his pocket change, a retiree going through a decades-old jar of coins, or a dealer finding an anomaly in bulk purchases from a local bank. These stories are part of the allure of numismatics, the thrill of discovery, the sudden revelation that a seemingly ordinary object possesses extraordinary value, and the connection to the history of the mint and the nation. The Lincoln cent, in particular, benefits from the historical resonance of Abraham Lincoln's image and the enduring symbolism of his presidency. The market potential for the 1980 60 Lincoln cent remains strong, fueled by the combination of rarity, condition, and historical interest. Coins with verified errors or top-tier grading can sell for prices that far exceed typical expectations, while standard circulated coins maintain a baseline value at or just above face value. Auctions play a key role in establishing market prices, often featuring rare coins alongside detailed documentation of their provenance, condition, and grading. Major auction houses carefully curate these lots, emphasizing both technical and historical significance to attract competitive bidding. This competitive environment can elevate prices dramatically, sometimes into 6- or 7-figure ranges for particularly unique coins. Collectors also pay attention to the global market. International interest has expanded the base of potential buyers for rare U.S. coins. Collectors from Europe, Asia, and the Middle East participate in auctions and private sales, seeking rare errors or high-grade specimens. This globalization contributes to competitive pricing and increased liquidity for extraordinary coins. The 1980 60 penny, with rare errors or exceptional grading, is particularly well positioned to benefit from these trends, as global demand can drive auction prices beyond what domestic markets alone might support. For investors, the 1980 60 Lincoln cent represents more than a collectible. It is also a potential long-term investment. Rare error coins, coins with historical significance, and high-grade specimens tend to appreciate in value over time, particularly as supply remains finite. Investors often employ strategies such as diversifying their numismatic holdings, acquiring coins with multiple desirable attributes, and maintaining careful documentation and certification. By combining these strategies with proper preservation techniques, investors can maximize the potential return on what might initially appear to be a modest 1-cent coin. The cultural significance of the Lincoln cent cannot be overstated. Abraham Lincoln's portrait and the coin's inscriptions carry weight beyond numismatic interest. The motto, "In God We Trust," reflects national values, while liberty and e pluribus unum communicate foundational principles of the United States. Collectors appreciate the coin not only for its rarity or monetary value but also for the symbolic and historical narratives it embodies. This duality, monetary value and cultural significance, enhances the appeal of coins like the 1980 60 cent, making them treasured items for both personal enjoyment and investment purposes. In conclusion, the 1980 60 Lincoln cent illustrates, as we continue exploring the 1980 60 Lincoln cent, one of the most captivating aspects is the human element, the stories of discovery, the thrill of uncovering a rare anomaly, and the psychology behind collecting coins that can transform a simple penny into a legendary artifact. Coin collecting is unique in that it combines tangible history, aesthetic appreciation, investment potential, and the excitement of discovery. For the 1980 60 penny, this means that while millions of these coins were minted, a handful may hold characteristics so rare that they command extraordinary attention, from double-die obverse to off-metal planchets, creating scenarios where the coin becomes more than money. It becomes a story, a legacy, and sometimes, a highly sought-after treasure. There are documented instances where collectors have stumbled upon pennies that defied expectations. One such anecdote involves a retired postal worker who had amassed hundreds of pounds of Lincoln cents over the decades, stored in jars and shoeboxes. Upon careful inspection using magnification and a scale, he discovered several 1980 60 cents with subtle doubling on the date and liberty. These coins were authenticated by a professional grading service and later sold at auction for sums far exceeding typical collector expectations. While these coins didn't approach the fantastical $98 million valuation sometimes cited in media reports, they nonetheless illustrate how diligent observation and knowledge of minting errors can uncover hidden treasure in everyday circulation. Extreme error cases are where the story of the 1980 60 penny truly reaches its peak intrigue. Consider the concept of a penny struck on a planchet intended for a different coin, for example, a dime or nickel. The difference in diameter and metal composition can create a coin that is immediately striking to collectors, both visually and scientifically. Such a coin would be incredibly rare because the odds of a foreign planchet entering the press are extraordinarily low. When coupled with perfect uncirculated condition and professional authentication, a coin like this could hypothetically reach millions of dollars in valuation, especially if it becomes a centerpiece in auction promotions or a collector's dream acquisition. Similarly, an off-metal planchet, a 1980 60 cent accidentally struck on a pre-1982 solid copper blank, is among the most coveted variations due to its rarity and historical curiosity, combining transitional error with the iconic design. The psychology of collectors also plays a role in why certain coins can fetch such extraordinary sums. Humans are naturally drawn to rarity and uniqueness. A coin that is one of a kind, or represents an anomaly that occurred by chance during the minting process becomes a story as much as a commodity. This emotional attachment can drive collectors to bid far beyond face value, particularly in high-stakes auctions or private sales. The thrill of owning a piece of history that few others possess creates a sense of accomplishment and exclusivity, which is part of what drives prices upward. In some cases, the narrative around the coin, its discovery, verification, and certification, can be as important as the coin itself in establishing its value. Let's imagine a hypothetical $98 million scenario for a 1980 60 Lincoln cent. To achieve this extraordinary valuation, several factors would need to converge. First, the coin would likely be a never-before-seen mint error, perhaps a combination of an off-metal planchet, dramatic doubling on the date and letters, and an off-center strike, all in perfect uncirculated condition. Second, it would need flawless authentication from a recognized professional grading service, certifying its uniqueness and grade, perhaps MS-70 or higher. Third, the coin would need to gain international attention, creating competition among high-net-worth collectors worldwide. Finally, it could be part of a historic collection, adding provenance and prestige that justify unprecedented bidding. While speculative, this scenario illustrates how market dynamics, rarity, and collector psychology can combine to create legendary valuations for a single penny. Collector strategies for identifying and preserving such coins are rigorous. Serious enthusiasts employ magnification tools, high-precision scales, and reference materials to systematically examine coins. They document the condition, anomalies, and provenance of each coin, often submitting them to professional graders for authentication. Preservation is meticulous. Coins are stored in tamper-evident holders, climate-controlled environments, and protected from handling or exposure to moisture and contaminants. Even minor imperfections can dramatically reduce a coin's market value, so collectors treat their high-potential coins with extreme care. Global collector trends have also amplified the significance of coins like the 1980 60 cent. With the growth of international coin auctions and online marketplaces, coins that might previously have been confined to U.S. markets now attract buyers from Europe, Asia, and the Middle East. This expansion increases demand, liquidity, and competitive bidding for extraordinary specimens. Coins with verified errors or unique provenance now command higher premiums, reflecting a global appreciation for rarity, condition, and historical significance. Historical context enhances the coin's allure as well. The 1980 60 penny is part of the lineage of Lincoln cents, a design that has circulated for over a century. Abraham Lincoln's image represents leadership, unity, and perseverance, and the inscriptions on the coin, "In God we trust, liberty," and "E pluribus unum," reinforce core American ideals. Collectors value the coin not only for its potential market worth but also as a tangible link to history, a symbol of cultural heritage, and a representation of artistry in miniature form. The Lincoln cent is thus both a collectible and a cultural artifact, bridging the gap between numismatics and historical significance. Rare coins like the 1980 60 Lincoln cent also illustrate the interplay of chance, diligence, and timing. Many extraordinary specimens are discovered by collectors who combine luck with knowledge, whether they are searching through old collections, jars of loose change, or bulk purchases from banks. This combination of factors, rarity, condition, historical interest, and collector expertise, is what creates the possibility of astronomical valuations. The coin market is as much about storytelling and human psychology as it is about metal composition or minting details, which is why certain coins capture the imagination of collectors and investors alike. Finally, as we draw toward a synthesis of the 1980 60 Lincoln cent's significance, it is clear that the coin exemplifies the duality of numismatics. Most coins remain ordinary, circulating unnoticed in pockets and cash registers, while a rare few achieve legendary status. Whether through dramatic mint errors, exceptional uncirculated condition, unique provenance, or global collector demand, the 1980 60 cent can transcend its face value, becoming both a historical artifact and a potential investment of extraordinary. As we enter the final stages of exploring the 1980 60 Lincoln cent, it is essential to understand the advanced methods collectors and professional numismatists use to authenticate and evaluate coins of extraordinary potential value. Beyond basic magnification and weight checks, experts employ specialized tools and techniques to confirm the authenticity and rarity of a coin. High-resolution microscopes reveal minute details of the strike, including die marks, doubling, and anomalies that are invisible to the naked eye. Digital imaging allows collectors to compare coins with known error examples and detect subtle variations in lettering or design. Even the metallic composition of a coin can be verified using X-ray fluorescence or other non-destructive techniques, ensuring that a coin's alloy matches expected standards, or confirming it as an unusual off-metal planchet that could dramatically increase its value. Error rarity rankings play a critical role in determining the desirability of 1980-60 pennies. Numismatists categorize errors based on frequency, severity, and collector demand. Minor doubling on the date or lettering might be considered a low-tier error, valuable only to niche collectors, whereas a dramatic double die on both the date and letters, combined with an off-metal planchet, could be ranked among the rarest and most coveted error coins. Off-center strikes are similarly ranked. A coin that is slightly off-center might have moderate appeal, but a coin misaligned by 50% or more represents one of the rarest minting occurrences and commands extraordinary attention. Broad strikes, transitional planchet errors, and foreign planchet strikes are also carefully ranked, with collector interest, auction results, and documented instances influencing perceived rarity and potential market value. Extreme auction case studies demonstrate the astonishing prices that rare Lincoln cents can achieve. While most 1980-60 pennies remain at face value or modest premiums, rare error coins have achieved results that capture global attention. One notable example involved the Lincoln cent from another year with severe doubling in perfect MS-70 grade, which sold for over $100,000 in a highly competitive auction. This demonstrates that when condition, rarity, and provenance converge, coins once considered mundane can become highly prized collectibles. Hypothetical applications of these principles to the 1980-60 cent illustrate how a coin with multiple rare characteristics, double die, off-metal planchet, MS-70 grade, and documented provenance, could theoretically achieve valuations in the millions, especially if it attracts global collector competition. Investors approaching the 1980-60 Lincoln cent as a potential asset must consider both preservation and market strategy. Preservation techniques include storing coins in tamper-evident capsules, maintaining controlled environmental conditions, avoiding direct handling, and periodic inspection to prevent unnoticed damage. From a market strategy perspective, investors carefully track auction results, consult numismatic experts, and diversify holdings to balance risk and potential returns. Coins with extreme rarity and verified authenticity often appreciate over time, particularly when demand exceeds supply and the coin's provenance and historical significance are emphasized. Advanced collectors also pay attention to subtler details, such as die cracks, repunched mint marks, and tiny anomalies in design lines. These minute differences, while difficult for casual collectors to detect, can differentiate a common 1980-60 penny from an extraordinary specimen with significant market value. Coins exhibiting multiple minor anomalies in conjunction with larger errors often attract the highest attention in specialized auctions, because they combine visual interest, technical rarity, and verification of minting anomalies. The psychological factors behind collecting also help explain why some coins achieve extreme valuations. Humans are drawn to rarity, uniqueness, and objects with a story. A 1980-60 penny with a rare error, perfect grading, and documented provenance creates a narrative that collectors invest in emotionally as well as financially. This emotional investment drives competition, particularly at auctions where the stakes are high and the opportunity to own a historically significant or unique coin is rare. This combination of human psychology, rarity, condition, and history is what allows coins to achieve valuations that seem disproportionate to their face value. Global collector interest continues to grow, fueled by accessibility through online marketplaces, international auctions, and high-profile coin shows. Collectors in Europe, Asia, and the Middle East actively seek rare U.S. coins, including Lincoln cents with verified errors or extraordinary grades. This international demand increases competition, liquidity, and the potential for record-setting prices. Coins with both rarity and historical significance, such as a hypothetical 1980-60 double die on an off-metal planchet, are particularly well-positioned to benefit from this global collector network. The final insights regarding the 1980-60 Lincoln cent revolve around the intersection of chance, diligence, history, and market dynamics. While most coins from 1986 are common and circulate without notice, rare anomalies exist that can transform a simple penny into a legendary collectible. The factors influencing extreme value include unique minting errors, double die, off-center, off-metal planchets, perfect preservation, MS-70 or higher grading, provenance and historical documentation, collector psychology, auction competition, and global market exposure. When these factors align, the coin transcends its original purpose, becoming both a historical artifact and a potential investment of extraordinary magnitude. The 1980-60 Lincoln cent also illustrates broader lessons about numismatics and collecting in general. Even the most mundane objects can contain hidden value, waiting to be discovered by those with knowledge, patience, and keen observation. Collectors are rewarded for diligence, research, and attention to detail, whether identifying subtle minting errors, preserving coins in optimal conditions, or understanding the market dynamics that drive valuations. Coins like the 1980-60 penny highlight the delicate balance between chance and expertise, reminding us that the extraordinary often lies hidden within the ordinary. Finally, as we reflect on the 1980-60 Lincoln cent story, it is clear that the coin represents more than its face value. Its design captures historical and cultural significance, its minting anomalies provide avenues for discovery, and its market potential illustrates the complex interplay of rarity, condition, and collector demand. From everyday circulation to rare era status, the 1980-60 Lincoln cent exemplifies the unique allure of coin collecting, the thrill of discovery, the beauty of design, the connection to history, and the potential for financial reward. It serves as a reminder that even the smallest artifacts can carry profound significance, bridging the gap between past and present, chance and intention, mundane currency and extraordinary collectible. As we bring this deep exploration of the 1980-60 Lincoln cent to a conclusion, it is important to synthesize all the key elements that make this coin simultaneously ordinary and extraordinary. The 1980-60 penny represents a unique intersection of history, artistry, minting technology, collector psychology, and market dynamics. On the surface, it is a 1-cent coin, a unit of currency that circulates daily in commerce and is often overlooked. Yet for those who study, collect, and invest in coins, it can embody the thrill of discovery, the value of rarity, and the potential for remarkable financial and historical significance. Market values for the 1980-60 Lincoln cent vary dramatically depending on condition, mint errors, provenance, and grading. Ordinary circulated examples remain at face value, while uncirculated coins in mint state 60 to 65 may fetch a few dollars to tens of dollars among collectors. Higher grade coins, particularly those graded MS-66 to MS-70, attract substantial premiums, with some specimens selling for hundreds or even thousands of dollars. Coins exhibiting mint errors, such as double dies, off-center strikes, broad strikes, or transitional planchet errors, can see dramatic increases in value. In the rarest circumstances, coins combining multiple rare features with perfect preservation, verified provenance, and authentication from professional grading services could theoretically reach 7- or even 8-figure valuations, the extreme scenario sometimes cited as $98 million. Hypothetical $98 million scenarios, while highly speculative, illustrate the rare convergence of factors that can create extraordinary value. A coin in perfect MS-70 condition, struck on an off-metal planchet, exhibiting dramatic doubling on both the date and lettering, authenticated and certified by a recognized grading service, and presented to a global pool of collectors could theoretically generate bidding of this magnitude. While such occurrences are extremely rare, they highlight the power of rarity, provenance, market demand, and collector psychology to transform a seemingly mundane object into a legendary artifact. Preservation and proper handling are critical for maintaining or enhancing the value of a 1980-60 Lincoln cent. Coins of extraordinary potential should be stored in tamper-evident holders or capsules, kept in climate-controlled environments to prevent corrosion or discoloration, and handled with gloves, or tools designed for numismatics. Avoiding contact with oils, moisture, and environmental contaminants ensures that the coin retains its luster, sharpness, and grading integrity. Periodic inspection and verification of storage conditions are essential to preserve long-term value, particularly for coins with high-grade certification or rare error features. Collectors seeking to maximize the potential of a 1980 60 cent should focus on careful observation and research. Magnification tools, precise scales, reference materials, and comparison with authenticated examples are crucial for identifying anomalies such as subtle doubling, off-center strikes, or off-metal planchets. Professional grading and certification provide essential verification for both collectors and investors, ensuring that the coin's authenticity, grade, and rarity are recognized in the marketplace. Documentation of provenance, whether through historical ownership, mint records, or auction history, further enhances market credibility and value. The cultural and historical significance of the Lincoln cent amplifies its appeal. Abraham Lincoln's image, combined with inscriptions such as, "In God we trust, liberty," and "E pluribus unum," connects the coin to foundational American principles. Each 1980 60 cent carries not only the imprint of the Denver Mint, but also a symbolic link to a lineage of coins that have circulated in America for decades, witnessing societal, political, and economic change. This connection to history adds intangible value, making the coin both a collectible and a tangible artifact of national heritage. Global trends in coin collecting further elevate the importance of rare 1980 60 pennies. International collectors participate in auctions, online marketplaces, and coin shows, competing for high-grade or error coins. The expanded market increases demand, liquidity, and competitive pricing, particularly for coins with verified rarity and exceptional condition. Coins that might otherwise be overlooked in a local market can achieve extraordinary valuations when offered to a worldwide pool of collectors who understand and value their uniqueness. The 1980 60 Lincoln cent also demonstrates the blend of chance and expertise that defines numismatics. Many high-value coins are discovered serendipitously, whether in old collections, loose change, or forgotten jars of pennies. Yet careful observation, research, and knowledge of minting processes enable collectors to identify and verify coins with subtle anomalies. This combination of luck, skill, and diligence is part of what makes coin collecting exciting and potentially lucrative. Ultimately, the 1980 60 Lincoln cent embodies the extraordinary potential hidden within the ordinary. From everyday circulation to high-grade, error-laden, authenticated specimens, this coin illustrates how rarity, condition, provenance, and historical significance converge to create value. It is a coin that tells a story of American history, of minting innovation, of collector passion, and of the unpredictable dynamics of global markets. The humble penny, in this context, becomes a symbol of discovery, a testament to the power of observation and research, and a potential treasure with both financial and cultural significance. In summary, the 1980 60 Lincoln cent offers lessons that extend beyond numismatics. It teaches that careful attention to detail can reveal hidden value, that history imbues even mundane objects with significance, and that rarity and condition, combined with market demand, can produce extraordinary outcomes. It demonstrates the intersection of human curiosity, cultural symbolism, and financial opportunity. Whether as a collectible, a historical artifact, or an investment, the 1980 60 penny exemplifies the unique allure of coins and the enduring fascination they hold for collectors and enthusiasts around the world. For those interested in exploring this realm, the journey begins with education, careful observation, and a willingness to study the intricacies of coin design, minting processes, grading, and market dynamics. The story of the 1980 60 Lincoln cent reminds us that extraordinary potential often lies hidden in the most ordinary places, waiting for those with knowledge, patience, and insight to recognize its value. By combining historical appreciation, even after exploring the 1980 60 Lincoln cent in depth, there remain advanced layers of understanding that distinguish casual collectors from numismatic experts. One such area is the study of microvariations and die states. Every coin die used at the Denver Mint in 1986 underwent a series of strikes, with each strike subtly wearing the die or revealing tiny anomalies. Expert collectors examine these die states to identify patterns, minor imperfections, and transitional characteristics. For example, a coin struck early in a die's life may have sharper details and more pronounced features, while a later strike could show signs of die wear, such as flattened lettering or softened lines. Identifying these nuances can make a particular 1986 penny significantly more desirable, especially when paired with known mint errors or high-grade condition. In terms of extreme rarity scenarios, the 1986 Lincoln cent provides an intriguing case study in combinatorial anomalies. A coin that simultaneously exhibits a dramatic doubled die on both the date and letters, is struck on a pre-1982 copper planchet, shows an off-center strike exceeding 50%, and retains pristine MS-70 luster would be among the rarest coins imaginable. Such a specimen could arguably be considered one of a kind in the world, attracting intense global collector interest. While no documented example of this exact combination exists to date, the theoretical possibility demonstrates the unique interplay of chance, minting processes, and collector valuation. Coins of this caliber would likely dominate auction headlines and become legendary within numismatic circles. Error analysis also extends beyond visible doubling or misalignment. Advanced collectors examine die cracks, repunched mint marks, cut formations, and other subtle anomalies. Die cracks occur when the minting die develops stress fractures, creating raised lines or irregularities on the coin's surface. Repunched mint marks happen when the D mint mark is stamped multiple times in slightly different positions, creating a layered appearance. Cuts are unstruck areas caused by die damage, often forming irregular shapes along the rim. While minor die cracks or cuts might have modest collector appeal, coins that exhibit multiple errors in conjunction can become exceptional due to their rarity and visual interest. For investors, a sophisticated strategy involves cataloging potential high-value coins and tracking historical auction results to gauge market interest. By maintaining detailed records of grading trends, error frequency, and auction outcomes, collectors can anticipate which types of 1986 pennies are likely to appreciate over time. This analytical approach complements the excitement of discovery, ensuring that investment decisions are informed by both technical data and historical precedent. Coins that have achieved MS-70 grades or exhibit rare error combinations tend to hold value exceptionally well and may see accelerated appreciation if introduced to the right collector audience. Practical advice for prospective collectors and investors includes developing a systematic approach to evaluation. This involves learning to recognize subtle die characteristics, maintaining proper handling and storage protocols, consulting reputable grading services, and staying informed about market trends and auction results. Understanding the distinction between minor anomalies and extreme error coins is crucial. While many pennies may exhibit slight doubling or minor imperfections, only those with verified rarity and condition are likely to reach premium market valuations. Global numismatic networks and online marketplaces have transformed the way rare 1986 pennies are discovered, authenticated, and traded. Collectors can now access auction catalogs, high-resolution coin images, and certification databases with ease, allowing for precise comparison and verification. International interest, particularly from Asia and Europe, has expanded the market for U.S. coins with rare errors, driving competitive bidding and creating opportunities for extraordinary valuations. Coins with extreme rarity and verified authenticity are increasingly seen as both collectibles and alternative investments, bridging the worlds of hobby and finance. The cultural dimension of the Lincoln cent remains a powerful factor in its enduring appeal. Beyond monetary value, the coin serves as a miniature historical document, reflecting both the technological capabilities of the Denver Mint and the enduring legacy of Abraham Lincoln. Collectors are drawn not only to anomalies but also to the story that each coin tells, a tangible connection to the past, a symbol of national heritage, and a testament to the intricate craftsmanship that goes into producing millions of coins annually. Finally, the 1986 Lincoln cent exemplifies the philosophy that even ordinary objects can hold extraordinary potential. By combining rigorous observation, historical knowledge, preservation practices, and an understanding of market dynamics, collectors and investors can unlock value in what might otherwise seem mundane. Whether discovered in circulation, evaluated for errors, or preserved for future appreciation, the 1980 60 penny offers lessons in patience, diligence, and the rewarding intersection of chance and expertise. In conclusion, the 1980 60 Lincoln cent is a coin of duality, simultaneously common and potentially extraordinary, historically significant and financially intriguing. Aesthetically modest yet technically complex. Its story is ongoing, shaped by the discoveries of collectors, the scrutiny of grading experts, the forces of market demand, and the global fascination with rarity and history. Every glance at a 1980 60 penny is a reminder that the smallest artifacts can carry immense significance, that the ordinary can hide the extraordinary, and that numismatics remains one of the few hobbies where a simple 1-cent coin can inspire wonder, scholarship, and perhaps even legendary valuations. As we bring this extensive journey into the world of the 1980 60 Lincoln cent to its conclusion, it becomes clear that this humble penny is far more than a 1-cent coin. From its origins at the Denver Mint to its circulation across America, the 1980 60 penny represents a fascinating intersection of history, artistry, minting precision, and human curiosity. What appears to be ordinary change in our pockets can, under extraordinary circumstances, become a rare collector's item with exceptional value. This duality, between everyday currency and potential collectible, is what makes the 1980 60 Lincoln cent a true symbol of numismatic intrigue. Throughout this script, we have explored the coin's design, weight, and composition, noting that while most 1980 60 pennies are made of zinc with a thin copper plating and weigh approximately 2.5 grams, rare variations exist. We examined the Lincoln portrait, inscriptions like, "In God We Trust," and "Liberty," and the reverse wheat design, each element reflecting American history and cultural symbolism. Beyond the design, we analyzed minting errors, including double die obverse, off-center strikes, broad strikes, and transitional planchet anomalies, all of which can dramatically enhance a coin's desirability and market value. We also delved into preservation techniques critical to maintaining a coin's condition and market worth. Handling coins with gloves, storing them in airtight holders, and protecting them from moisture, oils, and environmental contaminants ensures that even a coin discovered today can retain its value for decades or centuries. Proper preservation is particularly vital for coins with extreme rarity or high-grade certification, which may command thousands, hundreds of thousands, or even, in theoretical cases, millions of dollars. Market dynamics for 1980 60 pennies reflect a complex interplay of supply, demand, collector psychology, and global interest. Ordinary circulated coins remain at face value, while uncirculated specimens, coins with minor errors, and high-grade certified examples attract increasing premiums. Rare error coins, particularly those combining multiple anomalies or possessing exceptional provenance, have the potential to reach extraordinary valuations. Auction results, historical case studies, and global collector interest illustrate the range of possibilities, from modest premiums to the legendary $98 million hypothetical scenario, which demonstrates how rarity, perfection, and global demand can converge to create almost unimaginable value, beyond market considerations. The 1980-60 Lincoln cent represents human curiosity, discovery, and the joy of collecting. Many high-value coins have been found in jars of loose change, forgotten collections, or even bulk purchases from banks. The thrill of discovering a rare error or perfectly preserved specimen is a core part of numismatics, combining chance, knowledge, and diligent examination. Collectors often invest not only money but also time, research, and care, building a personal connection with each coin while also contributing to a broader understanding of minting history and rarity patterns. In the broader context of collecting, the 1980-60 Lincoln cent reminds us of the extraordinary potential hidden in the ordinary. Even a seemingly mundane object can carry historical significance, aesthetic value, and financial worth beyond its face value. Its symbolism, tied to Abraham Lincoln and foundational American principles, adds cultural depth, while its minting anomalies and graded perfection provide the technical foundation for collector and investor interest. For those willing to study, preserve, and explore, the 1980-60 penny offers opportunities for discovery, education, and potentially significant market appreciation. In conclusion, the 1980-60 Lincoln cent is a coin of contrasts. Ordinary yet extraordinary, modest yet potentially priceless, historically symbolic yet a playground for collectors and investors. Its story is one of chance, diligence, artistry, and human fascination. From everyday circulation to the most exceptional era coins, it exemplifies the enduring allure of numismatics, a hobby where curiosity meets history, and the smallest artifact can inspire wonder, excitement, and even legendary valuations. Every 1980-60 Lincoln cent carries the potential to tell a story, whether as a piece of history, a collectible, or an investment. Whether discovered in your